Radiant team pick.
Today, but more so, can Geekfam pull the game off them and stop this winning streak?
Yeah, it's going to be a big test for them. Of course, the patch is still fairly fresh, right? So a lot of teams are still trying to find some ground to stand on, still trying to figure out what exactly fits into their playstyle this patch. And a lot of teams have been actually defaulting back to old cores we have seen time and time again. A lot of teams still fall back to that Jarcopper. We might see it come out here. Wouldn't be too surprising, but it has been nerfed quite a fair bit. So these teams still need to really work out the kinks in their drafts, and that's what makes these matches right after a patch really exciting, because all teams are just kind of scrambling to figure out how the game is played.
Yeah, certainly are. I mean, we saw that a lot yesterday, and well, we'll see how they go today. Of course, they should have gotten a bit more practice after today's performances, and they should know a bit more about what's good and what's not. Of course, the draft has started, John. Geekfam, they go into the first pick Kunkka. Reality Rift so far picked up an Ogre, and they pick up the Leshrac, so they're staying pretty standard to the old meta as of yet. Kunkka, though, I mean, it's still pretty standard stuff, but it did have some decent changes with his Aghanim Scepter upgrade. And unfortunately, we're still yet to see that Aghanim Scepter in a pro game. But it should be interesting. It may pop up this time.
Yeah, definitely would be interesting to see that. I do like that Kunkka pick from Geekfam. It's a safe pick. Overall, it gives you a lot of utility in those team fights, a lot of durability as the game goes on. And Reality Rift, with their opening of Ogre Magi Leshrac, you know, it's a much more standard support opening, but Geekfam, they've really gone out here. They go with the Io this time. It's a hero that definitely has tapered off quite a fair bit, but we'll see if they can make it work in this new patch. It's gonna be really interesting to see that one unfold here.
Certainly will be. Of course, we will have to wait out a couple more bans before we get to see where these drafts are going to be headed, but we will see Geekfam. They'll get rid of the AA for now, which is fair enough. I've been up against the Kunkka Io. You definitely don't want to have an Ice Blast against you, so it's a fair ban from Geekfam. Reality Rift, though, they'll go up and ban the Luna. Now, we're in this weird patch now, John, where these carries like Luna and like Lifestealer have been running mostly core still, but you do see them popping up as supports. So it's hard to really know what's a ban out for either side, but there goes Luna for RR. And then the Timbersaw, which has also been a very popular ban as of yesterday, finds himself banned once again.
Yeah, it would have been really good to have that Timbersaw up against that Io and Kunkka. Eats right through their strength gains, you know, really melts heroes like that. So it's a great ban from Geekfam, a really smart ban from them. Reality Rift, they still have a lot to work with. Ogre Magi pretty much means you can pick up any physical core and feel good about yourself. I think the Lifestealer would definitely slot in quite nicely here, just because of all the ridiculous attack speed you'd have on that hero with the Ogre. The Leshrac guarantees you're going to be pushing those towers regardless of how that early game goes, and we do see the Gyrocopter ban out from RR. Fair enough. I mean, that's a very standard combination with the IO. You don't want to let that slip through. It can still be menacing. So it's a pretty smart ban from RR. Still, though, you have a lot of heroes that still work with the IO. We'll see whether or not RR picks up the Lifestealer, because if they don't, I can see Geekfam going for that themselves if they so wish.
10 seconds.
Yeah, why not? Why the hell not? RR, what are you picking up for this third pick?
5 seconds remaining.
Plenty of reserve time to go if they do wish to use it. How was the wedding, by the way, John?
Oh, it was great. You know, it's a fairly simple wedding. It was my cousin, Mr. Cephas, as you might know him on Twitter, so shout out to him. I believe they are out to Tokyo now, so they're having a good time. It was a good time overall. You know how it is, just catching up in family, and Filipino weddings, it's always a lot of family, Mike. But the draft goes on, so moving past my escapades, we do have Legion Commander coming out for RR. That combines quite well with the Ogre. So you have all the attack speed in the world. You have a great way of clearing out those jungles as the game goes on. Can really escalate there, maybe find yourself a couple of item drops as well. Hide this draft from RR quite nicely. You can definitely pin down any single hero for a prolonged time now. Go for the Kunkka, go for the IO. Just get them out and dealt with. You have the Leshrac for follow-up. So it kind of works together now for RR.
It certainly does, and that Legion, John, it was picked up so many times yesterday. To great avail, by the way. It was just very useful, very hard to deal with. And of course the dual damage buff was always good, but just being able to lock down heroes throughout this patch just seems so much more important, especially with those outposts that have been introduced. Because you've always got these little team fights happening at these outposts prior to those 5-minute intervals. and it just seemed like the Legion Commander was so good at locking someone down, and you were able to just get rid of that person and take the outpost for yourself every single time. And I do like this pickup from RR, though we'll see how Geekfam do want to fight back with their own draft, as they do start using quite a bit of reserve time for this third pickup. I wonder what the thought process is here.
You'd still want something that works with the IO, right? At the end, you want something that can work nicely with that. They do go with the Shadow Demon first, so you have a way of blocking off that duel now. I'm not sure about how much you can get done with the Legion Commander if that Shadow Demon is around. He can just kind of trap one of you two and cancel out the duel. So at the very least, you're not going to be getting those easy duel wins. You're not going to be getting as much plus damage as you want. There is still utility in the Legion Commander. It's just really diminished with that Shadow Demon. It does kind of show us that perhaps the Kunkka is going to be a core here. So you have that option for Geekfam as well, unless they really want to go wild with a IO core, which, you know, it was a thing. Not sure if it really fits in after the changes to the hero, though.
Well, I don't see any Australians on the side of Geekfam, John, so I'm not sure if they can run the core IO. But let me tell you something about the Shadow Demon support that's played by Zephyr. Yesterday, we were lucky enough to watch Zephyr play the Shadow Demon, John. By the end of the game, he was godlike on the support Shadow Demon. I don't believe he dropped a kill. This man terrorized. I think it was TNC, but he terrorized them, John, this man, on the Shadow Demon. So I look forward to see how well he can perform today on this hero, but I've got to say RR, they're probably going to be a little bit nervous about this pick from Geekfam. Because like I said, Zephyr, he just dominated the lanes. He was all over the place. It was unbelievable. RR, though, again, still yet to drop a game. They've got to be feeling quite confident. 35 seconds reserve time left for them, though, for this fourth pick. We need one more support at least from RR. And I imagine it should come out here.
Crystal Maiden is still in the pool, so you could really benefit from that. The Legion Commander doesn't have the best mana region. Leshrac will benefit from spamming all those spells, and gives you another way of scaling in that jungle as well. So that's an option. They do go with the Lifestealer, so that's a hero that's definitely in the meta. It just works out quite well, especially with that Ogre Magi. He's just going to be right-clicking like a madman right from the laning phase. So you have a lot of value with that pick from RR, and I think it just works out quite nicely. You have a pretty balanced draft. The team fight might not be the best. Right now, I would give Geekfam just an edge simply because their control is much wider with a Kunkka. But as it is, RR's draft is nothing to scoff at. That Lifestealer is just going to be very hard to deal with. Elsie can bounce back in that jungle to play catch-up if the lane goes hard. And you have a Leshrac to pressure those towers early on, so it's fairly well tied in for RR.
Certainly is. Geekfam, though, 2 more picks to respond to these picks of RR. Of course, you do have the Shadow Demon that can just purge and kite around the Lifestealer, but what the hell is this? The Ursa pops out. Now, we did not see this banned or picked yesterday, and I can't say I was expecting this to pop out. But I must admit, up against that Legion Commander and the Lifestealer, it does seem like a very good pickup.
Yeah, there's a lot of value in that pick here. You have already great durability with Ursa with his ult. Now you have the Kunkka to buff that up as well, and the IO to ride off of. So it's going to be very hard to burst this Ursa down. And it's going to be interesting to see him use his spell, because I believe he jumps a bit forward now when he does use his slam. So it's going to be interesting to see just how much of a change that is. Should make it slightly harder to kite him around. But we'll see exactly how that plays in here. It gives them a nice way of clearing out that jungle as well. Ursa can just kind of pop in there if the laning phase is a bit too hard. And it gives them a way of accessing Roshan early on. So Geekfam has some pretty good timers on them now to really match up against RR's own power spikes.
5 seconds remaining.
Certainly, and I mean, even with those new jungle items, like the Vampire Fangs would really suit the Ursa. He'd probably really enjoy that. There's a couple more that I can't really remember the names of quite yet, but we're going to see them in the game, I'm sure. Still though, one more ban to go from Geekfam before both these drafts are closed off. The Omni Knight, of course, was taken away by RR, and the Omni Knight yesterday was very, very effective in most lineups he was being run in. Naturally, it would have probably suited Geekfam as well. They won't have the option this time around. Still, they'll think about this last ban, and I mean, we talked about it before. Unless they're planning to run an Ogre Leshrac support duo, I still believe RR are looking for a support as their last pick.
They could work the Ogre Magi Lesh. I think greedy support duos aren't as bad now, especially with the changes to just how supports function in the first few minutes. With the changes to wards and couriers, you're not as pressured to dump all your money down a drain anymore as a support, so you can be a bit greedier, have one support just kind of cop it in the early game with sentries and smokes, but it's not too rough. Geekfam, they close out with the Slardar, which gives them even better control now. Really good ways of taking these fights, really good ways of counteracting that duel from the Legion Commander. With that Ursa, you're going to be melting people very fast. It's a scary combination from Geekfam.
No, John, let me tell you something else. I mean, I know I keep saying yesterday this happened and yesterday that happened, but if there's one thing that happened, that same game that Zephyr was godlike on that Shadow Demon, he was also paired up with the Cuckoo Slaughter in the offlane. And it was an absolute massacre. I mean, these guys did not let off. I believe they had something like 6 kills before the 10-minute mark in the offlane, just with that Shadow Demon Slaughter combination. But Reality Rift, hold on a minute, who's this bloke? The Shadow Fiend pops up, and this is another thing I wasn't expecting, but I love to see it. John, tell me about it. What's going on?
I mean, it looks like Reality Rift really is setting themselves up for a bit of a mid-game spike here. Shadow Fiend does come online fairly quick. It's going to be interesting to see how exactly he's going to be run, because with the change to Eul's, you're not going to be getting people from the Eul's into the Requiem Dead Center anymore. So that's going to be a bit of a change there for your early game damage at the very least. But it does give them some great mid lane presence, great farming capabilities. Shadow Fiend will almost always find his farm as long as his jungle isn't too pressured. So you have that going for you. You do have to be scared of Geekfam though. That laning combination which you mentioned from Geekfam with Zephyr Shadow Demon and Cuckoo Slardar is going to be coming out here. You have great setup for the stun and a lot of damage that can just fly out afterwards. So that aggression in the lane could cause troubles for RR in their side lanes, and that might escalate to having all their cores dive into that jungle early on, which will slow down the Shadow Fiend. So you've got to really balance out this laning phase here for RR. It does look like it's pretty balanced on both sides, I have to say. Both teams do have their bases covered, so it's going to be really up to how they run that laning phase and how effective they are with that early game trades. That will dictate the pace of this game.
It's going to be a fun one to watch. I will ask you, John, and I know it's very hard to predict anything with this new patch, but who do you believe has the better draft, even slightly?
I'm going to have to say Geekfam. I do prefer their draft overall. I think the Kunkka and Io is just going to be absolutely annoying to fight through. The run buff and the durability Io gives to your cores, especially since you have an Ursa on Raven. So it's going to be a hard time to really focus down on that Ursa. You also have great melting capabilities with that Slardar and decent control with Shadow Demon and Kunkka. So overall, Geekfam's draft should be easier to execute, but Reality Rift, you can't count them out. If they hit their timers, they can melt towers quite fast and can force fights earlier on, but if they start to lose some momentum, they're going to have to dip into that jungle.
They certainly are. Not that that's a bad thing this patch. I mean, the jungle just seems to be the way to go anyway. But we'll see how it all pans out. It's Geekfam versus Reality Rift, game number 1 of this BO2. Well, like we talked about before, RR yet to drop a game. This could be the first one, but we'll see how they perform today. It's Geekfam, of course, looking to try to take that top spot in the groups. I believe right now they're in second, just behind RR. So a bit of pressure on Geekfam to try and overtake the side of RR in that group stage, the group stage standings. Otherwise, though, having a look at these lanes, KYXY and Hustler going to be together on the Legion and the Leshrac. Looks like they'll be up against Raven and Dubu on the Ursa Io. Of course, mid lane, we can expect Ryoya to be on the Kunkka and Alacrity to be in the mid lane on the SF. And bot lane, we will have Zephyr and Cuckoo with their combination. And so far, we'll have Nuts and Drew down at the bot. And that's enough of that, because it looks like the top lane, there may be a bit of a scuttle going on.
30 seconds to battle.
So you've got 4 banner runes now, John, so there's a lot of fights that generally happen early. Geekfam. Looks like they're going to have to let the top ones go, and they'll probably just end up securing both bottom bounty runes. So there will be a bit of a fight down bot. Drew giving it to Cuckoo. Nuts will pop up as well, though there's the disruption, and they'll be able to grab the bounty. And now do they want to try and turn something? Not quite. It is still only level 1 on all heroes. They'll just trade a bit, and they will back off to safety.
Yeah, and even 2-2 trades so far, you are seeing a bit of pressure in the lanes, but not too much just yet. I do have to say, it is going to be a bit of a bloodbath bot. Just taking a look at Cuckoo and Zephyr. Once they hit level 2 with their combination up, it's just going to be very hard to sustain here. At the very least, Nuts is on Ogre Magi, so it's not going to be too rough. He's a bit tankier, harder to deal with. Still not going to be a fun lane.
Certainly isn't. You'll see they will wait for that level 2 mark, but they're already trying to give the pressure towards Zephyr. Don't allow him to be comfortable in this lane. Nuts will do exactly that. Of course, another interesting matchup we have to keep an eye on, Alacrity versus Ryoya. We haven't casted a mid-SF game in a very, very long time, and it does seem to be more Ryoya favored on the Kunkka. But then again, in this new patch, you just never really know. Although, as I say that, John, KYXY will be the first blood. Raven does pick him off. And it's just having that added movement speed from the IO tether really does assist in chasing KYXY down.
It definitely does. You have to remember that I believe Ursa did get a slight buff in his move speed as well. So you're not going to be having a good time running away from this bear in that early game.
He's also picked up a Orb of Venom, so KYXY have to be very careful about how close he gets. Try to harass Dubu a bit, but Raven, of course, will make his presence known. Having a close look down the bot lane once again. They are about to hit that level 2 mark on the SD and the Slaughter. Nuts, copping a bit of a bash. So far, Drew looks pretty comfortable in the life sealer. He's not suffering whatsoever in terms of last hit, so things are going decently. So they go in, there's the disruption, he got the bash to the beaks as well. Now the stun, Nuts gonna be in trouble. The Shadow Poison will come out from Zephyr, and it looks like that should be enough, and it will be. And straight away, you hit level 2, you find a kill.
That's just the core of this combination, right? It comes online really fast, it applies pressure really fast, and you have to keep that momentum up. You want to slow down this safe lane farm. You do not want to allow Drew easy access to the jungle and early game farm.
So they're going to try and go after Cuckoo. Cuckoo is copping a fair bit of damage, but there's a stun coming out. Now the disrupt as well. Drew, he's falling low. Looks like Nuts will continue to chase, but Cuckoo is well and truly gone. Zephyr will just harass Nuts a bit more. They could not find the trade they wanted, though. And Nuts, you've got to be a bit wary of how many stacks you've got of that Shadow Poison. Zephyr, he will pop a mango. He'll get a 4th one off now.
Is under attack.
Looks like Nuts understands to just stand back for a bit and not allow any more. They will eventually wear off. They will go for a stun once again onto Cuckoo. Stun from Cuckoo, though, with the bash. Won't lead to anything. Like we'll at least see a couple moments where both sides will just farm up a bit. Meanwhile, though, looking back to mid, Yo-Yo and Alacrity still going head to head, though. I've got to say, Alacrity, John, doing pretty well. 16 last hits, 11 denies, way far ahead of Ryoya on the Kunkka, and it seems like Ryoya is starting to fall quite behind.
Yeah, as long as you can land those raises onto the Kunkka, you can actually pressure out a lot of mid laners. So Alacrity's doing his spacing right, he's really using his spells quite well, and is, because of that, taking the lead here down mid, which is going to be rough for Ryoya.
Well, Nuts will go down again, down at the bot lane. It looks like Zephyr and Cuckoo going to work. There's just not much this Ogre could do. You'd assume it'd be a little bit harder considering how tanky the Ogre is, but never mind that, because top lane Raven did start making a chase onto Hustler. You will let it go thanks to that Diabolic Edict that came out from the Leshrac. Raven will have to passively heal himself up for a bit. In fact, he'll just salve up instead. Alacrity, Ryoya, gonna have a go at each other. Torrent will connect, but Ryoya does not want any more of this. He will back off. The salve will be there from either side. Alacrity really just trying to give it to Ryoya. In fact, he throws out 2 raises and connects both. Has 2 mangoes available and does pop 1. Looks like Ryoya will be safe at least for now.
Dire structures are fortified.
Can't say the same for Zephyr, though. He's being chased down by a massive Ogre. Disruption will be there. In fact, Cuckoo's coming in. Zephyr may survive this. There's a stun. That's the 5th stack of Shadow Poison, and now Nuts. He doesn't want to be here anymore, but he will go down. He does not find Zephyr and gives his own life away, and they found the bounty rune on the side of Geekfam.
Yeah, that's a bit rough. I mean, he is trying to get that spacing going for his safe laner, which does pay off. He is paying with his life, though, so it's a bit rough for the Ogre Magi. Still, he's buying space for Drew, and Drew is still finding that farm. 25-8, definitely having a pretty good time down bot regardless.
Certainly is. Kind of wonder, though, what kind of build do you see the Lifestealer going for? I mean, we saw the Armor pop out yesterday, we saw the Maelstrom build pop out yesterday, we even saw the Midas build. None of which looked amazing on the Lifestealer any longer, to be honest with you. I'm just wondering whether Drew will have something up his sleeve that's a little bit more surprising.
Yeah, it really remains to be seen. I mean, there's so many ways to build this hero. I think one way that you could be seeing here is a focus on minus armor, just to stack that damage up. It could work out quite well with that Legion Commander as well.
Oh, Drew, though, does rage up. They didn't get the disruption off in time. Still, though, he's going to be forced to use his Shrine early on. Too happy about that. Meanwhile, top Hustler going to be chased down again. Raven just jumps straight into him, though. Here comes Alacrity. The Razor's flying out. They found the Leshrac. Oh. Raven, he goes down. Alacrity perfect on point. Tether away, but it will be no good as KYXY will clean him up. But Alacrity, those Razors, he has not missed this game. He just continues to connect perfectly.
Oh yeah, you've got to watch out for that. You cannot underestimate the damage of an SF with those raises. It really stacks up. I guess it's just because you don't tend to see the SF too often anymore. It's something that you can underestimate, but you've really got to respect that mid-game, early-game power spike, actually. Once he has full levels on that, it just melts every hero in the map.
45 last hits, 27 denies on this SF. Alacrity is just a farming machine this game. Bot lane, looks like there is another attempt on Drew's life, but Hustler will rotate down to try and help out. Still, the Infest will be there on the dire side Siege Creep. Cuckoo will instead go after the Leshrac, and well, they found him with the Bash of the Deeps, and he just explodes to Zephyr Shadow Poisons. Meanwhile, though, Ryoya ends up finding Nuts in the mid lane and almost gets Alacrity as well. He won't quite get so lucky with the SF, but I think Geekfam is still going to be very, very satisfied with those kills.
Definitely so. It's a really early aggression so far, working in favor of Geekfam. 2-7, less than 1k network lead so far, but you can feel the pressure piling up on Reality Rip. Slowly but surely, they are having to respond to these really aggressive rotations.
Here we go again, Drew. Oh. Getting bashed constantly. I mean, this is what can happen to you, John. You can get perma-bashed if you're not careful, and Cuckoo, he knows this. He needs one more right-click, and that's basically a dead Drew. In fact, he's going to find it, it looks like, though. No, KOXY will heal him up, and now Hustler, they'll rotate in the Cuckoo. He's going to try and get the hell out of there. He'll get him on the bash off, and Dubu going to keep him healed up as long as possible, but Cuckoo looks to be dead surely, although he's still running away. He'll get the stun off. Look how fast this fish is, John. He's just running on land. He'll deny himself off to the Tier 2 tower. And Dubu, does he really TP away? It looks like he gets away with it. Oh, just denying everything off the side of RR. That is not a nice feeling if you are on the Radiant side right now.
No, definitely not. That was a lot of time wasted. That's a lot of heroes thrown in to stop that dive, and in the end, you don't even find the counter kill on any single hero. You get the split gold, but for the time you've wasted there, probably not worthwhile.
Certainly not. While all that's been happening as well, you know, you talked about wasting time. Raven is at the top of the net worth board on the Ursa. Just closely followed by Alacrity on the SF, but the Ursa does just seem a little bit more scary to go up against if he's farmed up this much. It looks like he is just going to rush the drums. Alacrity, though, understands this, does make his way up top. They have the jewel available on the Legion Commander, but they can't really close the gap on Raven. We've seen nice rotations coming in from Geekfam once again. It does seem like RR understand that there are hero rotations coming in, and they don't want to have to deal with that. So they will back off for a bit and perhaps just apply pressure down to that bot lane. Though I say that, Cuckoo does not seem concerned by the 3 heroes down here. In fact, he's just trying to fight back to Drew. And he will even be in the end. But again, you'll see a bit of a rotation from RR. It will lead to absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and this again buys time up top for Geekfam to apply their own pressure. They are trying to posture around, trying to find Alacrity, but they couldn't quite land a torrent. So you are seeing both sides really run into one lane and try to apply pressure there.
Oh, Alacrity torn it up, and here comes Raven. He's in big trouble. They'll heal him up, but Alacrity trying to channel the Requiem. It'll be no good, and now KYXY, he'll be chased down as well. Raven, can he keep up? Not quite, but they found both bounties, I believe. And of course, they will be able to get control of that northwest-south post, or excuse me, outpost. Geekfam continuing to find everything off this map. They've got a slight net worth lead. That net worth lead is only set to grow as Alacrity is starting to fall behind on the SF.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, you're also seeing a lot of kills going the way of Geekfam, so they've got a decent amount of EXP for themselves now as well. And that's just going to make it so much harder to contest. I mean, you take a look at Dubu. He's level 6 in this IO already, so he's going to be able to be all around the map as soon as they want. And Cuckoo and Dubu can now just go in, stun someone up, and just find these kills across the map.
Certainly can.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
We'll probably see that very, very soon. Though Cuckoo is just set on forcing down that T1 bot tower. And of course, you were talking about this before, John, but these towers are so much more important because they give you control of those outposts a lot easier. Looks like Cuckoo. And they continue applying that pressure. Bash in one hit, he's going to go for it and does do so. There's the stun following up as well. The Alacrity is here with the rotation. They'll disrupt this lineup, but Cuckoo is going to be surrounded and looks like he should die though. Oh, the relocate wasn't there in time. Cuckoo does lose his life. Now the IO going to be in an awkward position, but Ryoya is here to help out. They want to try and fight this Raven. There's the buyback on Cuckoo. They're going to make their way back in. Now the tether Alacrity. Requiem will be channeled. It does go out. The boat flies out as well, but doesn't really connect on the SF. But the Toro will connect on. Oh, now they're running Alacrity. He gets bursted down by Raven. Drew's the next target. Can they keep up? He tries to jump forward, but KYXY will get the infest off with the Legion, and now they'll go after Hustler instead on the left track, and he's just a sitting duck. He'll go down and they'll clean up that T1 bot tower.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah, that's a rough trade for Reality Rift. They don't really find anything from that. They did find Cuckoo earlier on, but with the losses you took and the tier 1 falling down, that just makes it much harder to contest this outpost now. And as mentioned, you know, that gives a lot of gold and a lot of map control these days. So it's a big loss for Reality Rift, and that's going to make it much harder for them to secure that bot area.
And RR, they have to be careful about how much land they give away to Geekfam. You don't want to give away too much map control in this patch. That jungle farm is just so important in the mid game now. Still though, how do you slow down this Ursa and this Lana for that matter? It doesn't really seem like you can, or you don't really have the tools for it.
It's under attack.
You look at Geekfam as well, they aren't split up. They're just sticking us for the whole time, ensuring they don't get caught out with the jewel from the Legion. Go for that mid T1 now.
Radiant structures are
Looks like there will be no real defense coming out from RR, but they do fortify. Though, relocate. Where are they going? Top lane. It looks like they find Zephyr on the Shadow Beam thanks to Hustler, but now with the relocate, they are in trouble though. No, never mind. Dubu, he's lost his life to Hustler. Oh. And now they'll find more Ryoya. They're just beating kills away right now. Cuckoo, he's surrounded. He'll go ahead and take down Nuts on the Ogre, but how do you fight 4 heroes, sir? Raven is just going to come in and run away. He doesn't want to borrow that. They'll find the 4th kill. And RR. It looked bad for them for a second, but Hustler was just burning them alive.
Oh yeah, you've got to respect the magic damage that does come out of the Lesh at this point. You don't have any mitigating items to, you know, really reduce that damage as well. So Leshrac is at his full force now. Level 8, 14 minutes in, pretty much the best point for a support Lesh, and that is showing. Hustler is just melting towers and heroes now. You've got to really watch out. You can't afford to zoom in one by one like that. You've got to apply all your pressure at once and try to concentrate that team fight. Otherwise, you're just going to melt. The Leshrac has good damage. The Shadow Fiend Alacrity still does great damage as well. He's got his Yules up now, so he's got added control and possibly a huge bomb just if he gets that Yules Requiem off. So you have all the tools now for RR to take these fights, and Geekfam, their lead isn't that massive. It's still less than 1k at 15 minutes in.
It's certainly still a very even game. They'll go for a bit of a fight over these 15-minute bounty runes. Neither side really trying to take the outpost away from each other at this rate. Raven gonna find Drew, but can't really keep up with the lifestealer.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Both bottom bounty runes just being left
Dire's
alone.
middle
They're just
tower
sitting there
is
right
under
now.
attack.
Neither side really making their way there. Like, RR, what's the game plan here? They may try to force in that mid-tier 1. Cuckoo is there, standing his ground, but he's going to be surrounded in just a moment. In fact, there's the Yules coming out. Hustler, can he get the follow-up? He definitely can. The disruption is there, but they'll get the jewel on thanks to KYXY. Now the Requiem, they'll just burst both of them down. Alacrity with the double. They want to chase for more. I don't believe they'll have the lockdown for the other two. But it doesn't matter. 2 hero kills and a mid-tier 1, and perhaps even a mid-tier 2.
Structures are fortified.
Oh yeah, just one bad counter fight from Geekfam and suddenly you lose a lot of ground on the map. You can't afford to do that same mistake. They've done that at the top lane, streaming 1 by 1. They do it again down mid, and it cost them even more objectives there. So they've got to watch out. You've got to respect this power spike on RR. They are really applying that pressure quite well. That tier 2 up top, not going to be standing for too long now.
Diabolic Edict, still a very powerful spell throughout this new patch. They'll claim it. You see Alacrity now, he does have the BOTs up, so he can just be all across the map.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
The item progression coming out from Geekfam, it's been a little bit slow, it feels like, for the past 5 minutes or so. I say that, but Raven and the Kunkka do find something. The Heaven's Halberd and Bash are coming up. So that could change the way these team fights are turning out. Feels like they've got to find the jump on the right targets. I mean, it's not really the lifesteal that appears to be the problem right now. It's more so just Alacrity on the SF and the Leshrac being played by Hustler that's dealing all the damage.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire are scanning.
There's smoke coming out from Geekfam though. Zephyr. It's there with Ryoyo and Cuckoo. Where are they headed? Are they going to the Roshan pit? Bit risky to try for it this early on, but it looks like they just may. You look at that positioning from RR. They're in the Dire side jungle. This is perfect from them. They're going to have the high ground as well if Geekfam get this smoke broken. Hustler, he'll go in there and he'll break it straight away. Can he survive long enough though? He doesn't have a Yules available, but he cops the boat. Now the stun, and it looks like RR are not going to help him out. They'll let him just go down. That was actually a fair bit of gold going to the way of Kunkka.
Yeah, not the worst trade in the world. I mean, you know, it's a support Lesh in the end of the day. Even with all those kills, you're not going to mind throwing away your support like that. It is still not a kill you'd want to give away, considering how much ahead you are. I mean, it's still less than, it's still about a K lead for a Reality Rift. You still don't want any way of these heroes going back in, though.
We've seen Nuts going down up at the top lane as well. He was just trying to force in that top wave, and he does do so, but Geekfam, well, they send Cuckoo and Zephyr down, and they just clear him up. So a 10-13 now, that net worth lead is still only less than 1k to Geekfam. In fact, you have a look at that net worth graph, and it's just been all over the place. So we'll see if either side can gain a real advantage throughout this game, as it hasn't happened quite yet. And the win probability, John, currently at 50-50. A very even game indeed.
Yeah, it's just been a constant back and forth. Map control, fairly even. I'd give RR a slight lead there, but, you know, all these heroes still have a lot of room to grow. A lot of ways to train these fights, so no one's out of the just yet. I think one thing that is going to be playing in RR's favor is that early Philosopher's Stone on Hustlers. They got a nice lucky drop there for your support. He's just going to be constantly building gold up, so he's still going to grow in itemization, despite not farming so much.
Fair point. Of course, if Harry Potter's taught me anything, John, that stone is no good. So you shouldn't have the stone if you are a, you know, if you're a young child, young magician in Hogwarts or something like that. Probably should have made a Full Metal Alchemist reference, John, but I'm not a weeb like you are.
Oh, shut up, Mike.
Shout out to all the FMA fans out there, by the way. Fantastic anime. That's where you agree with me, John. Don't call me a casual for liking Full Metal.
I mean, I agree with you. I just haven't watched it myself, okay?
Roshan is going on. I'm going to ignore I heard that, John. RR going to go for an early Roshan.
Yeah, with that Desolator up on Drew, it's going to go really fast. He did go for that, and it is going to help them out here. So the early rush, no contest coming out from Geekfam. It's going to be a bit rough fighting into this.
They aren't even gonna. They'll just leave it be. You see the illusion come in from Ryoya, but it is just that, just an illusion. It looks like RR now moved their way up to the top lane. They know Zephyr's around there. Drew won't really catch him out. In fact, no, they're pinging him out. They know the location, but he will TP out to safety.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
8 knots and full ahead.
Smoke gonna be broken straight away. Nuts. Nice heals coming out. They'll just stop Cuckoo from doing what he wants. And now there's follow-up stun as well. But Raven is there to rip apart Nuts. The Ogre does just disappear. And now can they find any more? They'll have the blink up in 3 seconds. KYXY trying to outrun them, but there's the drums being popped. Cuckoo, he'll find the stun. KYXY does need some help, and it looks like it is finally coming in as Cuckoo now, copying a fair bit of damage. Hustler with the follow-up stun as well. They're trying to heal him up, but it's not going to be enough. And now Raven just wants to get out of there. The relocate, he got Yule's up while he was trying to do it, and now he gets jeweled up as well. KYXY finding another. Geekfam, it looked pretty good at the start. Unfortunately, they just dove a bit too deep. And RR, they aren't even done yet. They're looking for more. They'll go after the mid-tier 2 instead. Fortification has been forced. But I dare say that Geekfam's draft is starting to drop off a bit.
It definitely looks that way. RR is really playing around their power spikes quite well. They've still got the Aegis up. They've got all the damage in the world. You don't have anything like BKBs coming out yet from Geekfam. So that damage is not going to be mitigated. Nothing like a pipe as well. So it's just a rough time. You're copying a lot of magic damage and physical now coming out from Drew. And you don't really have a response. You've got to get these fights in your favor. So far, Geekfam has been counter-initiating a lot. Or if they have been initiating, they've been chasing into tier 2s. So they've got to take better fights, perhaps plant some deeper wards, get some better information on the map, because right now, Reality Rift, they've got really good vision on the enemy jungle, and that just slows down Geekfam's play that much more.
RR take another bot tier 1. They'll go straight after tier 2 now. Geekfam, they can't keep allowing these towers to go down so quickly, but it looks like they don't have a choice in the matter. To make matters worse, Alacrity now has his full BKB up. You've also got one coming out on Raven, but I don't know if it's going to be as effective. We'll find out soon as they're knocking on the tier 3 towers. But RR, they do back off to safety. No reason to force this issue that quickly. And now they do obtain a 2k net worth lead on the Radiant side. So, Cuckoo gonna jump in straight onto KYXY, but he gets jeweled immediately. He has no help to him. They relocate him out. Dubu, who doesn't even have a Cuckoo, he does go down to the end, and now Dubu, he'll be chased down by Hustler. Looks like he's just dead. Raven, he pops the BKB. He's gonna try and man fight. The buyback is there from Cuckoo and a nice double stun. Now the follow-up at Alacrity, he pops his own BKB. He just wants to make a run for it. Requiem, no, he gets bashed. Drew, though, pops out straight after Raven. They'll take him out. They got the dieback off onto Cuckoo, and now Ryoya just trying to get the hell out of there. But it looks like Hustler is on the chase. And well, that was not the smartest idea, Ryoya. He went for the swipe on the wave. He got fortified anyway, and he is going to end up dying.
Oh yeah. That's rough for Geekfam. That's going to open up their entire set of tier 3s, and those towers just melt really fast, especially since Hustler is still looking pretty healthy. So those towers aren't going to be standing up for too long, and there are no buybacks available for Geekfam.
Dire's bottom tower is falling. Dire's bottom barracks are under attack.
That's the first racks going down. RR just look too darn strong. They'll get a second as well, or at least a secondary tier 3. Raven gonna try and fight. He can't afford to die right now, though. He doesn't have the buyback gold. They'll leave him be, but Geekfam, are they really gonna chase? They'll think better of it. They can now go for shrines, and that's exactly what they'll do. They'll still have an Aegis available as well, so I believe they should have enough time to try and force that mid-high ground, or just go for the top.
Yeah, there's really no reason not to at this point. You're not waiting on any major items anymore. Reality Rift is still pretty set in their power spike. They've got 9k net worth lead, 17 to 15, 25 minutes in. They've got pretty good control on the map, although there is some vision now coming out from Geekfam. They've got some vision, although the Aegis does expire right then. So perhaps they're going to wait for next Roche. I still don't see it, though. I do believe RR understands their strength at the moment. They're not going to be holding back too much. It's time to try to play catch-up now. They've got to close out that network gap. They've got to maximize this BKB on Raven much more than they have right now. The issue is he's just being kited around way too much.
Yeah, he hasn't been very lucky with those bashes. It's really relying on Cuckoo, it feels like, to get those massive stuns off, but I mean, we saw the previous team fight. He started off and just had no help. Just a little overconfident from Cuckoo. He may try again. He's got his team following him up now. They see Drew, but Drew has help behind himself. There's the stun coming up, but Nuts will run in, but still, they just melt him straight away. And now they can definitely follow up straight onto Nuts on that Ogre. It looks like the rest of RR are just going to make a run for it. And I feel like that's the kind of pickoffs they need to find if they wish to bring themselves back into this game.
Absolutely. That's exactly what they need to keep doing. Just try to smoke up, try to find moments when you know the Lifestealer is vulnerable and he has no backup. If he has no backup, really easy to hold down. Lifestealer just melts to the Ursa, especially with that basher. So you've just got to manage to find those opportunities. And as long as Geekfams keep finding those kills for the next, I don't know, about 5 minutes or before the next Roche, they could set themselves up to regain a lot of map control.
The game plan here from RR. It looks like they are planning on waiting out the Roshan. Naturally, Geekfam understand they can't really allow it to go the way of RR once again, because that would be just disastrous for them. Dubu gonna get caught out though. The Yules from Alacrity. He unfortunately Yules himself. And that'll mean that Dubu will walk away with his life intact. Bit of an unfortunate mistake there from the SF. Geekfam, are they going to smoke again? They've grouped up. They've got a smoke on Dubu. Got the Vanguard coming out now on Raven, so it looks like he might just go for the Abyssal up next.
Yeah, I actually, that's it. Yeah, he has the Abyssal up. So you have a lot more utility on Raven. You have a lot of longer time to really burst someone down. That should allow Raven to find these solo kills he really needs.
Smoke's about to come out, though. They are going into an AC on the Lifestealer now, so it's, that added armor may help RR out quite a bit. Geekfam gonna loop around. They understand the positioning of the Radiant side right now. They've just got to find the opening they want. But RR seem to be quite aware of what's going on as well, and they will smoke up themselves. Question is, do they find the side of Geekfam, or do they just try and use KYXY as bait? Looks like they do just jump in Cuckoo straight away onto the Legion, but they're not doing enough damage quite yet. Never mind, perhaps they are, and they do burst him down, and now they go straight after Dubu. He's gone. Zephyr goes down on the Shadow Demon as well, and it looks like Geekfam are falling behind, but they'll buy back straight away and relocate in. Now though, they've jeweled up the Ursa. They can't get him out of there. Dubu is going to be in trouble. He needs more time to relocate, but he can't. He'll go down. Cuckoo now, he loses his life, and there's only one left to be taken, and it is going to be Ryoya on the Kunkka. He's got no way out of this. He is just gone. John, that's 4 heroes without buybacks available on the side of Geekfam down. The only man left standing is going to be Zephyr, who brought back to defend. I don't believe that's going to be enough.
Oh, it's definitely not. You've got Leshrac who can melt the towers. You've got massive right-click damage coming out from all of the cores in RR now. These objectives will not stand for too long. They did, you know, expend all their money on these items, especially that Abyssal on Raven. And that cost him his buyback, so he's just not going to be there. Even if he respawns now and dies again, he's still not going to have buyback. So it's just a rough spot for Geekfam. They're going to have to pay for their mistakes here.
Well, pay with 1 Rax at least. Of course, the mid-racks is still exposed, and it looks like RR are going to take full advantage of that. The Geekfam are respawning, but it's still going to be a disadvantageous situation for them as it's a 3v5. Believe it be, they are up against Megas now.
The Radiant now have Mega.
This is about as rough as it gets for Geekfam. There's still always the comeback potential, but when you're 14k net worth behind against Megas, and now Roshan's going to be taken as well, it's hard to see how they do it.
Yeah, it's just going to be really hard now. If you have ways of clearing out these waves, the Kunkka does pretty good. The SD can kind of hold it off. It's still an uphill battle. You're down 14k net worth.
Raven's got to go try for this Roshan. He hasn't made space in the back though, but they jump in straight up. Let's track Hustle, still Hustle though, does survive, and now they've lost Dupe on the IO. This could be it for Geekfam as the duel comes out. Cuckoo, he does jump in with the stun, but he's being controlled as well. There's just no winning this one for Geekfam, it seems. Raven, he'll manage to run out of there. Well, they're still following, they're still trying to find more targets. It looks like they will find Zephyr on the Shadow Demon. And the Ursa, Raven?
Oh?
Jumps in after Nuts, gets the Fire Blast, enrages there. Cuckoo, he'll follow up, but gets Yules up as well. Torrent will assist. And Alacrity may actually end up going down, but Cuckoo, he's overextended. They're trying their best to make something out of nothing, but they're losing everything as Alacrity finds the Ursa. There's the GG call being made, and RR. That's 5 in a row. Up against Geekfam. This team just looks unstoppable, though.
They definitely...
Your turn to ban. 5 seconds remaining. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I guard the wooded ways.
Prepare for battle.
By hidden paths. In green, I go.
30 seconds to battle.
Through shady lanes. By my shaggy bark. In sylvan shade.
The battle begins.
So I go. By the wilds. Get over here! Nature's ferocity. En route. Green wrath. Not for you. Verdant fury. On my way. Limber up. Warriors of the wood. Uproot the foe. Naturally. Yes. Branch out. I'm under attack. There, see the forest. Come on, Bob, James, Levy. Yeah. bit of green. With me. Wild is my way.
That's just poppycock.
Through
Your top
shady
tower
lanes.
is under attack.
Not a second thought. Leaving. Yes. Oh, my baby gats, I'll admit it. On my way. Yes. Naturally. Nature calls. Ah, the sun in my leaves. By my shaggy bark.
Your top tower is under attack.
Attack! So I go.
Regeneration.
My hidden path.
Perhaps a bit rash.
In green, I go. Go green! Come, come! With a wild spirit. How sweetly the seeds of fortune. In sylvan shade.
Bounty killing.
En route. Fresh meat.
Hopper's mission.
Death.
Hopper's mission.
On my way. Dang.
Hopper's mission.
With a wild spirit. The wild is calling. You feed the crabs.
That's a stick. Get off your feet.
Uproot you.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yes.
The enemy's bottom tower has fallen.
Alone.
Your top tower is under attack.
Fresh meat! By eat and live.
Radiant structures are fortified.
For the trees!
Your middle tower is under attack.
Nature's ferocity. Come to me.
Your middle tower is under attack.
By the
Dire
wild.
structures are fortified. Your middle tower is under attack.
By eat and live.
Your middle tower has fallen.
Leaving. En route. wild is calling. Through shady lanes.
Your top tower is under attack.
Naturally. Nature calls. With the fish.
Your top tower is under attack.
By hidden paths.
Your top tower has fallen.
Uproot and after them. So I go. Wild is my way. Yes. In green, I go. Verdant fury. By my shaggy bar.
There are some things you will never see, such as tomorrow.
Trade
The enemy's middle tower has fallen.
By my shaggy bark. I'm not ready. So I go. What gold will retrieve the seeds of fortune. Green wrath. Boy, fresh mate. On my way.
to my days as a road agent.
En route. Through shady lanes. I will rise next season.
One down, 4 to go.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
The glens are calling. Nature's wrath upon you. Branching feed the trees by hidden paths. Naturally. Uproot the Fresh meat. Yes. Nature calls. Branching out.
Burning up!
Think of it as caviar.
Iron!
Fresh meat! Natural. Branch out! Yes. Yes. Come! In green, I go. With a wild spirit. Get over it! I'm under attack! Watch me! Who fells me? I'll flank it!
It was worth it.
Double kill.
Your top tower is under attack.
Again, the sun warms my limbs.
Your top tower is under attack.
I'll take that.
Your top tower is under attack.
En route. Attack! My legs shaggy bar. Sad.
Assassination at its finest.
Too damn late. Thanks.
my way. Uproot and after them. Go green. An ignorant seem to be.
A bit more study and it could have been.
For the trees.
Your bottom tower is under
Nature
attack.
calls. Fresh meat! Warriors of the wood.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
The beat
Dire structures are fortified.
by hidden paths.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
The sacred grove awaits. Let the sharks have my flesh. Mega kid double kill.
Looking for a name.
I sprout anew. In sylvan shade.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
Uproot you. I live and live.
My place.
The enemy's top tower has fallen.
Nature calls.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Nature's for us.
Enemy's top tower has fallen. The enemy's top barracks has fallen. The enemy's top barracks has
Wild
fallen.
is calling. So I go. Naturally. I'm not ready. Leaving. Attack! It's not time yet! me!
The enemy's bottom tower has fallen.
On my way.
Your middle tower is under attack.
By hidden paths.
Your middle tower has fallen.
With a wild spirit. Yeah.
Your top tower is under attack. Your top tower has fallen. Your top tower is under attack. Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower has fallen. Your middle barracks are under attack. Your middle barracks has fallen.
The sun's pale sister shines upon my
Dire
leaves.
structures are fortified. Your top tower is under attack. Your top tower has fallen.
Sylvan shade.
Your top barracks has fallen.
En route. Long time yet. Through shady lanes.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
Dominating. Yes. Nature calls. On my way. En route. Monster kill!
Your bottom tower is under attack. Your bottom tower has
In
fallen.
sylvan shade.
Your bottom tower is under attack. Your bottom tower is under attack. Your bottom tower has fallen. Your bottom barracks are under attack. Your bottom barracks are under attack.
Chose you.
Your bottom barracks has fallen. The enemy now has megacaves.
You'll get
yours.
Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower has fallen. Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower has fallen. Your ancient is under attack. Your ancient is under attack.
See the side of RR posturing around that dire side jungle. They know that Raven's farming the jungle, they just don't really have a way to close the gap on him right now.
Radiant's
Nuts
middle
though,
tower
he's gonna
is
stick
under
around,
attack.
waiting for an observer ward to be dropped so he can just get the B ward off. Meanwhile, Ryoga decides to plant a mango tree by the Roshan pit. Not sure what the point of that is, but I suppose having mangoes on the floor isn't such a bad...
Clear as clean water.
Regeneration.
What about the mangoes, John? Oh, he came back for it. Never mind. He got it. Icefrog wouldn't have been happy about that had it been left alone. It's nuts. Interesting positioning from him right now. He's just holding on to that outpost. Not really sure what he's going to get done by himself, but you could see a rotation come in from RR to help him out. In fact, it looks like that is exactly what's happening. Hustler, he'll rotate up on the Lesh. No Venom wards. Be able to scout him out before he closes the gap. Nuts now being scouted out. Cuckoo though, Ice Blast will connect. Cold Feet is there though. Cuckoo will be able to outrun it. Still Hustler. Poison Nova will come. Hustler, can you find the Split Earth? Should be able to though. He pops the Edict first. Cuckoo has been slowed down enough. In fact, no, he hasn't. He's still outrunning them. Hustler, which way are you going? Cuckoo's looked to turn it now. The Gale comes up, but no, he may have extended. No, in fact, he hasn't. He'll find both of them. Oh, Cuckoo, how dare you, sir?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Bot lane though, X-Boat is going to be there on Alacrity. He's a big target to go after. Ghost Shroud will not come out yet, but there it is. He's still sustaining throughout all this. In fact, he's healing up, but here comes Raven. He finds a massive chrono on the 2. They'll get Alacrity. They'll find KYXY. Nuts came in to try and help out, but it looks like he screwed himself over. They get the X card, and he's certainly going down as well. In Geekfam, it kind of looked a bit wonky at the start, John, but it looks like they have found their momentum.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That went faster now.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower.
Zephyr going after Hustler, actually doing a fair bit of damage with that stolen Cold Feet, and they just burst him down. So here comes Drew trying to find the trade. Zephyr, he will go. Cuckoo, you've got to try and juke and jive out of this one. Drew, stop, will not actually connect. Drew's just going to make a run for it now. Can they lock him down? The X, he's just barely out of range. Drew so close yet so far. There's the X, he finally got it into the boat as well. Drew still looking fairly healthy right now, but here comes Raven. Dubu trying to find a block. It looks like Drew still managing to survive somehow. KYXY just keeping alive throughout all this, and Geekfam will not find the kill.
Nice.
He certainly does, John. Still with that Maelstrom up, it will escalate his farm quite a bit. This Sven, Drew just trying to finish up that Sergeant Yasha, which was buffed so much in this new patch. So much value in that Sergeant Yasha now. So RR gonna start pushing in that top lane. It looks like they have not really lost confidence in themselves quite yet, but Geekfam are setting up for another team fight. They have the Chrono up once again, and you know he doesn't want it on cooldown. He'll jump in at that tier 2 tower Hustler. He'll stick around for now, but the X does come out and the bashes fly out from Raven as well. They'll find one. The rest of RR are just gonna back off to safety once again. Mid lane. Alacrity won't get caught out by Zephyr. Be the Death Pulse being given away to the Rubik. Looks like Geekfam are more than happy to also play this farm game for a bit. I mean, they've got a Void after all. No reason to force any fight if you don't have to. But mid lane, there is a fight that has been forced. In fact, they will find Dubu on the Elder Titan. Nice pick up there by the side of RR. Can they find anything else out of this? They are heading towards that Roshan pit, and yeah, they're going for it. KYXY picks up a regen rune and gets started straight away. The mango tree is still there, though. With that, they have to back off. We'll talk to Ice Frog later, John, about this mango balance.
Radiant are scanning.
Top lane, though, Cuckoo.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
There is a smoke. Cuckoo is going to avoid it for now. Hustler understands he's around somewhere. The Ice Blast will not scout him out, and he will manage the TP. It's going to be a fair amount of time wasted for the side of RR. And with that, Geekfam do understand that the top lane is probably going to get pushed in now. They'll be ready for a team fight again. They still have the Chrono up and ready to go.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
That's not good. Cuckoo slowing down Hustler, just keeping vision on it. Raven is running his way up top. In fact, no, he'll just start farming the jungle instead. Hustler so down low, the stop, they'll use him up. Hustler somehow still alive throughout all this, but he runs into the Venom wards. He's going to try and fight this out. It will be to no avail though. Zephyr will go ahead and pick up the kill, and that is his Blink Dagger now on the Rubik. Stormhammer flying out, but there's the X-Boat from Ryoyo. It will connect on the spin, and now the stomp jewel, though, is going to be on Cuckoo. He couldn't get the poison stick back. Never mind, he did. And there's Raven. He gets the 3-man chrono. Baseball football as well. He needs more damage. The Reaper side Cuckoo, he will eventually drop. AYXY will do the same, though. Now Alacrity, he's been caught out. He's got nowhere to go except down, and that is exactly where he does go. In fact, where is that Jewel Zephyr? He's still some damage for himself. He found nuts. And with that, John, a 4-for-1 trade and 18 jewel damage.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is fallen.
Hustler. Lift will be there, but he got the Split Earth Pulse Nova off. Now the Pulse Nova is stolen, but that's not what he wanted, and Zephyr should go down. Dubu does get a stomp off, but he needs some help. He's going to keep playing around with this Lash. Well, here comes Raven, but he may lose his own life in the process, though no Hustler. He hasn't found it yet, and well, looks like he is going to be slowed down by Raven, and he does go down, and now Nuts actually ensnares the Void up, but Cuckoo comes in as well to try and help out. The AA should eventually just go down, but never mind. Alacrity's here now with the Arcane, or excuse me, the Guardian Greaves. Still Cuckoo, just keeping him slowed up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But Alacrity will not allow his teammate to die. Yeah, I mean, it's basically been Geekfam's way most of the game. Only slight net worth leads for RR earlier on, but Geekfam eventually just took over. Win probability right now sitting at 77% the way of Geekfam, 23 the way of RR. This Dire side is not slowing down at all. Raven has the Vampire Fangs up, has his BKB up, and he's going straight into a Lincoln Spear after that. So he does not want to be disrupted at all within these team fights. So a bit more coordination will be necessary from RR to at least break that Lincoln's first before you try for the Jewel, the Reaper Scythe.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Now the mid T1.
Fortified.
Fortification will be forced. There's no real rotations coming in though, apart from Hustler.
Radiant's middle
They will let it go down. Drew, Zephyr, they're smoked up, though Drew hiding, though Zephyr knows he's there and he gets the lift off. Ryoyo now, X-Boat is going to be there, he pops the God Strength, but is it going to be enough? In fact, never mind, it was the War Cry. Drew probably understands he's dead, but he's going to try and make a run for it. And so far, so good, he's actually outrunning them. Raven has the chrono, he slows him down, doesn't really want to commit the chrono for one, and he will not. They will find the kill thanks to Zephyr on the Rubik. Meanwhile, top Cuckoo was going after the AA. Didn't commit the Poison Nova. We'll just allow it to TP up. Geekfam, they will go into the Roshan pit now.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
John, just casually, how long do mango trees live? I mean, really, this mango tree is still here giving mangoes out. Okay, well, XY looking to go in, but the BKB's popped by Raven. They at least stole the Roshan kill. but the rest of Geekfam are out of there. And in fact, Zephyr finds Hustler down at the bot lane with Cuckoo. They do end up binding the Leshrac while all that was happening. But back to the main point. When does this mango tree die?
I deserve this.
KYXY gonna be caught out. Raven has the chrono if it's required. It seems like it will not be required though, and KYXY understands he is just dead. And this is beginning to get scarier and scarier for Reality Rift, John. They're 7k behind now. It just seems like no team fights are going their way. And this is without the Void Ultimate being used.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Haste.
Are they planning for a smoke?
Radiant's
Looks like they
bottom
are.
tower is under attack.
They know exactly where Geekfam are. Raven gonna cop an Ice Blast. Still though, not gonna back off this T2. He's still got an Aegis available just in case. They will happily take it for free. Do you pursue for more though if you're Geekfam? It looks like they will hold out for a bit.
Man, that's a lot of tier 3 items on Geekfam. They've already got, I believe, yeah, the Orb of Destruction up on Ryoya, so you've got a good amount of minus armor and slow. You've got the Dragon Scale on him as well, so there's some burn damage that could go on the tower. You've also got a lot more. It's just a lot right now falling into Geekfam's favor, just from the jungle as well. So the odds are stacked up against Reality Rift. They are trying to get the split push going with Hustler. Issue is when you split push against a Veno, it's hard. He just drops wards and your push just kind of stops.
He's gonna keep trying. KYXY is there and just kind of hoping that someone pops out and tries to defend this wave, but like you said, the Veno wards are gonna be enough.
Regeneration!
Both teams just getting set up for those outposts. Currently, Geekfam, they will control 2 of them. Just going to allow them to get so much more bonus XP. Not to mention, of course, another TP location and vision. Looks like they're giving the Helm of the Undying to Zephyr on the Rubik. Could be interesting to see what he could do with that added time after he dies.
Oh, he can do a lot, for sure. I mean, we've seen what he can do in these fights. Now he can go in without worrying about dying straight up. He's got 5 seconds to do so much more, and those 5 seconds are enough for a hero like Rubik.
Apparently, KYXY has a repair kit, John, and it restores building HP. Yeah, right.
Sweet. Yeah, they're gonna need that, because... Oh boy.
Geekfam grouping up top lane. They spot out Nuts. It should be a very easy kill onto that AA, and that is exactly what it's going to be. Side of RR just trying to get away from that location. Don't give any more kills away to the side of Geekfam though. Hustler does spot out Cuckoo, but they're fighting over those outposts. Raven will come in as well. It looks like Hustler hasn't timed as perfectly as he would have hoped, but he does give another kill away. Meanwhile, top lane once again, Ryoya being chased down. Dubu will get a nice stop off onto the Sven, but they are still chasing this Kunkka. So can they find him though? It looks like Drew will go after Dubu instead. Get the Elder Titan first. Now, who do you you go for? It looks like Cuckoo will be the target, but they can't get in range to actually duel him up yet. Still Cuckoo running, blinks away, Stormhammer will come out, but Zephyr is there to help and throws another Stormhammer out. Alacrity now reaches the side, will get it off, but Cuckoo, he does use the Poison Nova, somehow still alive throughout this Cuckoo. He'll use up now, KYXY though, he is there with the duel this time around and will finally find the kill, but they've left Drew alone. Is there enough damage to take down this Sven? Probably not, as Ryoya is the only real call there, though as I say that, Raven has made his way up and has the Chrono available. Ghost Shroud will be there from Alacrity. It looks like the Chrono won't be necessary, as they will find another kill. And it looked like a very even trade between the two. In fact, it was a 2-for-2 trade. And RR really didn't get as much as you would have hoped out of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a slight win. You managed to get away with your Sven. Does find a couple of really key kills to push him up there. Still not the game-changing fight you'd expect. In fact, Drew's in a rough spot right now.
Gets lifted up by Zephyr. Stormhammer is there from Zephyr as well. Dubu gonna try and hold him down, but Drew does have support coming in. Won't find the stomp. Raven, though, is there with the Chrono, but Drew is waiting. Looks like they'll back off for a bit. Uh-oh, Ryoya's got the Aghanim Scepter, John. Here we go. The Torrent Storm is now available, ladies and gentlemen. This should be a bit of fun.
Oh, man. Oh, that's gonna be interesting to see.
It's a pretty ridiculous spell, to say the least. And with the Chrono as well, I mean, having the Torrent Storm and the Chrono, as even the Stomp from the Elder Titan could be devastating. It's just, there's a lot of things happening in an AoE that RR have to think about.
Yeah, and it combines really well. It combines really well with the Chronosphere as well, right? They're all stuck in a static area. You're going to be spawning torrents every, what, 0.25 seconds, if I read that Ags right? Yeah. So that's just kind of annoying, to say the least.
Speaking of annoying, Hustler, he's still trying to run out this top lane, but there will be an immediate rotation. Cuckoo doesn't find the Gale on Hustler.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Just due to that split push, Hustler will be able to stop that mid-tier 2 from being pushed in too far by the side of Geekfam. Looks like Hustler isn't backing off though. Him and KYXY looking for another target. They know Cuckoo's around somewhere. Cuckoo, did he show himself? Looks like it won't matter. He does manage to get away. Smoke will come out from Geekfam. I believe that may have been spotted by the Observer Ward up on this high ground, just barely perhaps. RR though, are waiting. Smoke does break by Alacrity. Top lane, Hustler getting caught out by Cuckoo. KYXY is still around the area, but here comes Raven hoping for a bash, and he does get it. Hustler has no way out, he's going down. KYXY will just immediately TP up, but they'll go into the mid lane now. Cuckoo trying to set up onto Drew. Ice Blast won't connect. Back, the Gale will be there. He's going back in now. Hex as well coming out. They're going for Torrent, won't connect. Instead of trying the team fight, Geekfam realize we'll just go for Roshan.
Yeah, and again, no vision from RR to spot that one out entirely. So it's not going to be contested. Another free Roche going away with Geekfam.
That mango tree is still there dropping mangoes.
Oh yeah.
Dubu's just gonna walk past. He's had enough mangoes for one day.
I mean, they haven't chopped it. RR just hasn't managed to take the time to go out there.
I don't think they've seen it.
So, yeah, no, I don't think they've walked in that area of the Roche pit, so they haven't seen that tree.
Raven you up to, sir?
Radiant's middle tower.
We're going to
is
try and
under
find
attack.
Drew, but Drew will be in safety's range. Looks like that tier 2 mid tower has been healed up by KYXY or whoever else is holding that that repair kit. Will actually be the ancient apparition. Aghanim Scepter now up on Zephyr, so you've got that very, very low. Does actually have some form of real damage to pump out.
Radiant's middle tower.
The question is how the hell is he going to get in there and do it?
I mean, he didn't opt for something like the Blink, so his mobility is the biggest issue for R right now. He just can't counterfight too well. He has to find a way to sneak into that fight, and to be fair, Blink would be very hard to use with a Van Manenter around. Still,
Raven just starting on the tier 3, still no real defense coming out from the side of RR. I imagine they probably will just back off after this tier 3 is gone, but maybe not. Because there are 3 heroes down at the bot lane, they're not really here to defend. So Raven, he'll go easily take down Nuts. And now they have TP back down, but they're going to lose the range racks as well.
Radiant's middle has fallen.
And I'd hate to sound like a broken record, but we still have the chrono available on Raven.
yeah, it's actually one of those rare moments where Raven has not needed to pop the spell. So the threat is always there.
Dickens is broken. Drew will give the stun away. Now they found Hustler on the left track. He was trying to sneak in behind him. Still God Strength being popped. Drew, he wants to find a target, but there's the chrono. Straight off the bat. Stomp is there as well. Now Reaper's side that they'll take down Zephyr, but Drew is falling rather low. Now the Torrent Storm comes in. How do you fight into this, John? It's a water world right now. Hustler trying to outrun them. Raven, who do you go for? He'll try for Alacrity. The sight device is there. Ice Blast will fly out. Hustler is going to try and fight all 4 by himself, but that's not how Leshrac works anymore. And he will go down. Alacrity now being caught out by the Yules. Surrounded. He's just gone. And I think this game may be over. They're going to try and fight back. But I think Geekfam will be the first team to take a game off RR throughout these close qualifiers.
Yeah, it does look that way. They do have buyback on their Legion Commander, but it's not flying out.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
That should be it. That's definitely...
They do find the Necropost Alacrity. No, in fact he can. Can he survive though? He'll break the Lincolns off the Void, but how do you defend this Ancient now? Alacrity gets X back into the boat. He goes down. There's only KYXY left, and that is definitely GG coming out. So Geekfam will